On this special Halloween episode of Cinematic Observations, we take a look at the 1966 motion picture It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Is it a movie or is it a film? Any motion picture is a movie until we deem it a film. Is Halloween even real?
There were not enough pumpkins in this movie.
I completely disagree.
Welcome back to Cinematic Observations. My name is Benjamin Kane.
And my name is Randall Wells.
On this special Halloween program, we'll be discussing It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, directed for television audiences by Jose Cuauhtémoc Bill Melendez in the year 1966.
Our story begins on Halloween night. Most of the children eagerly await trick or treating, but for one youth, Linus Van Pelt, voiced by Christopher Shea, it is not candy he wants, but instead for the Great Pumpkin to grace his lowly pumpkin patch.
The Great Pumpkin, a magical Halloween entity, is assigned to bring presents to whichever pumpkin patch he deems the most sincere. Linus, believing he has the best shot, waits all night in the pumpkin patch, along with young Sally Brown, voiced by Kathy Steinberg.
Sally takes an interest in the most romantic of ways towards Linus, causing her to skip out on the opportunity for such tricks and treats.
Meanwhile, the rest of the gang partakes in this so-called tricking and treating, garnering a fine collection of candy.
Oh, and rocks. They proceed to attend a humble gathering dedicated to the beloved holiday. In the end, the Great Pumpkin is a no-show, leaving Linus dejected but determined that next year will be his year.
Now hold the phone, Randall. I thought this story was about the young Charles Brown.
He is certainly present in the events that take place. However, it would have been more fitting to call this motion picture It's the Great Pumpkin, Linus Van Pelt.
But even then, pumpkin? The use of that word is completely false. The technical scientific designation for such a plant is Cucurbita pepo.
In our correct opinion, this motion picture should have been titled It is the Great Cucurbita pepo, Linus Van Pelt.
This motion picture gets a 10 out of 100 in its title accuracy.
Absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
The first thing we liked about this motion picture is that Linus has a persistent personality.
With the events that take place in this movie, Linus gets a real good kick in the pants.
Truly. He just keeps getting beaten down by the other kids, the other mean kids.
They're very mean to him,
Yes.
by the way.
And the Great Pumpkin never shows up.
He never shows up, but he's determined. He doesn't let that affect his mood.
No, he is so persistent. He's very strong.
It's honorable.
Yes.
The second thing that Randall and I enjoyed about this motion picture were the tunes produced by Vincent Anthony Vince Guaraldi.
Yes, the score of this motion picture is iconic. The way it goes, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun.
We all know it. We all love it. We all grew up with it.
Yes. And hearing that title music really triggers a feeling of nostalgia in your brain.
Yes, I can remember growing up, before I knew much about film,
Yes.
watching this as a child. And it was a tradition in our house. Every Halloween, we'd gather around the glow of the television set.
And then we would go out for the tricking and treating as children.
So it brings about warm, happy memories.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, those are the only things that we liked about this motion picture.
First of all, multiple times, they put Santa Claus and the Great Pumpkin into the same category, as if that's a right comparison.
Absolutely preposterous.
As if Santa's not real, just like the Great Pumpkin isn't real.
But we all know about Santa, of course.
He has a list.
He checks it twice.
He's gonna find out if you're naughty.
Or nice.
And the Great Pumpkin,
He's frankly not real.
he's not real. That was made up for this movie.
Absolutely. And aside from that overarching complaint, at the very beginning, Lucy is carving the pumpkin. She's cutting out the top.
As you do on any normal Halloween.
Yes, and Linus claims that that she kills the pumpkin.
He claims that she committed murder, which is very serious.
Of course, it's a felony. If she did that, she would be in jail.
Right now. Still for life.
Yes, but pumpkins, they don't have feelings.
They don't have a heart.
They're not alive.
And so you can't kill something that's not alive. It's merely just carving.
Yes, as is traditional on Halloween.
Yes.
Very festive.
And not long after that scene, Linus takes a letter out to the mailbox.
Yes, but he does not put it in the mailbox as a normal child would.
Mm-hmm.
He throws the mail, and it travels in a circular trajectory and lands in the mailbox.
That took me off guard completely.
Yes.
It took my breath away. And right after that happened, I ran upstairs and grabbed my physics notebook from college.
Yes.
And I started flipping through all my notes.
This cannot be right.
No. And I studied, and it's not aerodynamically possible that letter would travel in that way.
That does not make any sense.
It did not.
And throughout the motion picture, Snoopy flies a plane. Infuriating. Dogs cannot fly planes.
And not only that, it wasn't even a real plane.
No.
So if it was a real plane, okay, maybe he got his pilot.
I would still say that was unsafe.
It's very unsafe, but maybe he got his pilot's license.
Maybe.
But it was just his doghouse. It was just a dog atop his doghouse.
Yes. Very silly.
And later on at the Halloween party, when all the kids are having fun, suddenly they announce, it's time to bob for apples.
Yes. Who is this Bob?
Who's Bob?
There has been no character development for this Bob.
He's not been introduced. We don't know anything about his backstory.
No.
And then that's just it. They just move on.
Yeah.
And they start putting their mouth in water and trying to grab an apple.
A completely irrelevant character.
I was confused and angry the whole time.
Very poor filmmaking.
Yeah.
And on top of all of that, there are a few more things that I would like to quickly list off for you.
Go for it.
Lucy is mean. The animation is childish. Pigpen is stupid. And Charlie Brown, a model? I don't think so. He's too short.
Charlie Brown, you'll have to model for us.
He's too short.
With all that said, the childlike wonder with which I once viewed this motion picture has long faded.
And that is why we condemn this motion picture to forevermore be
A movie. Oh, I got a film.
I got a film. I got a movie.